My name is Franek Ammer. I'm working for Fotofestiwal in Łódź in Poland. We have a pleasure to work, to be part of Parallel platform. And this year, for the second time, we were about to host the exhibition in our venue during the festival. And as everybody knows, a lot of things happen in the world, and we couldn't show the exhibition live, which we regret a lot. But at the same time, we have the great opportunity to still work with the artists and the curator and the Curator team, which are the leader of the project. And I will introduce them all in the moment. The exhibition is online. We'll talk about it today. We'll present how it works. We'll talk a little bit about the works itself and the concept of the exhibition. And we'll also present you the catalog which we created for the exhibition, and which is also a part, you can say, like a small mini exhibition that you can take to your home. And Bartłomiej Talaga, who's the designer, who's also with us, will present the catalog. So first I would like to introduce the curator, Zohreh Deldadeh, that's worked with us from already, like, it was like 1 year of working together, talking about the exhibition. Zohreh also visited Łódź and visited our venue, and it was a great pleasure to work with her. And we have on the exhibition, we have 5 great artists, and together with us there's today Elsa, Yuxin, Yushi, we miss for now Josh, but hopefully he will join us, and Anka. And we have also with us Nuno and Rebecca from Curator, leader of the project, the ones that made it happen, that we are all together here in the online form. But thanks to them, the whole project is still on run, it's live, and hopefully we'll meet everybody also someday soon in an offline version. And I think it's the best to start. I don't know if anybody is still joining us, but I think we can start. Nuno, please, can you, or Rebecca, can you say a little bit about the project for those who maybe don't know the platform or heard about it but didn't yet, don't know yet how it exactly works, because it's not so easy to understand sometimes. It's a long process of collaboration between artists and curators and institutions like ours. So please give us a short introduction to what is Parallel.
Well, thank you, Franek, and Zohreh, and all you artists. The words of very nice. Your words, and clearly the project, is led by us, but together with all the members and all the artists and the creators. Is not a solo project. It's a network project, and it's a project with people that like to join coming from all over the world to join and to mix and to share our experience all together. It's why now in this moment we are all virtual, because we cannot go offline, and this pandemic situation affect directly a part of the core of the project, the relationship of the project, not the artistic part, because the artistic part we're going to see it's amazing, and the works that the artists and the creators have done, it was quite good. But of course, we miss to meet and to have a drink and to have a hug with all the people that participate in the parallel platform. Basically, the platform, the parallel platform, was designed as a system to bring new artists and new creators to the art system, and also refresh a bit the art system, working with institutions like Fotofestival from Łódź and other 17 institutions that host different activities of the platform, like exhibitions, like action, special activities, like the intersection, the curatorship, where we design the different exhibitions. So it's a project that lasts 1 year and a half during each cycle, where we can found the different wishes and help to develop the artists and the creators to develop new proposals and new works to be presented in the different moments. The main objectives is to create, establish a broadly and inclusive exhibition platform for European and international photography, increase the professional skills of the new creators, people that are working in the new activities, developing the links. These are very important to us, to develop and create strong links between the creators and the artistic institutions, and developed all the international mobility of work to show, of artists to show their artistic work, and so stimulating also the production of new artistic relevant content. Due to the situation that we have to go online, so we have this, this is the second live event of the parallel third cycle. So it's a conversation together that will be hosted by Zohreh, the creator of this exhibition, and it's one of the 6 exhibitions that we have in the third year, and it was a pleasure to have already launched the site 15 days ago, and now we have a conversation about the catalog and about also all the process led by Zohreh and together with all the artists. This project has the support, the global support from the Creative Europe program that makes the possibility to make this project happen, even if it goes on virtual. And I think well, it's enough. Now I go to I pass the word to Zohreh. She can explain and talk a bit about her thoughts and the works of the artists. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes. Great. Hello to everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm so glad that we can talk about the exhibition, since we didn't have this chance to have the exhibition physically in Łódź, but still it's a chance that we can have maybe even more people from around the world, the chance that we couldn't have maybe in the other way. And thank you, Nuno, for your explanation. Thank you, Franek, for your introduction. I just want to tell you a bit about the concept of the exhibitions and a bit about the artists' works, but since the artists are going to talk about their work themselves, so I don't want to go through details about their works. First of all, I need to elaborate about this concept of the title of somebody's. This is a project that I'm working on by focusing on the body issue that recently I'm focusing and studying on this topic. I made another exhibition last December in Delhi in India, and it was with Iranian artists with the same concept, but it was more focused on the political aspects of the body. In this exhibition, which is the second from this series that I'm working on, I'm glad to host 5 international artists from different countries, part of the parallel program. The whole idea that I'm following in this study is about this question, that how socio-political issues affect on our body. But this is the main question. When I started my research, I went further, and then I realized that maybe I can just take my focus and put it in another aspects that maybe at first you don't see it or you don't pay attention to it, because when we talk about the social and political issues, there are also some other things that maybe not directly are political, but indirectly they are political. And so I started with this main question, but later I changed my focus and I put it on the relationship between ourselves and the other, and the role of the body in between. Why I'm asking about this relationship? Because actually, mainly we see that many of the struggles that we are always facing related to the bodies, and all the problems that always we see in societies related to the bodies, mainly start with this differentiation between we and the others. There is always someone that we consider as the other. But who is this other? We always, of course, there is this concept of other that we are talking about it in sociology and political studies and these things. But I want to be more close to this concept of who is the other. I think when we ask this question, that what makes us different from the others, we see that the body is always in the center. And this differentiation between us and the others always make problems, like it makes hierarchies, it makes differentiation, it makes surveillance, it makes discrimination, it makes disagreement and division, it makes control, violence, gender inequality. Sorry, I wrote them here just to make sure that I'm telling all of them. Gender inequality, patriarchy, also misogyny, also restrictions, and so many other concepts that you can put in this list. And all of them are just happening when you make someone else different from you, and you call it, or you call those people the other. But I want to be more close to this concept, who is the other. In this exhibition that I've been invited, this 5 amazing artists, I try to find this question, that who is the other for them, and how the body is playing an important role to connecting us to the others. Maybe at first you see, in some works, you will see that it's not necessarily when these artists are observing the other as equally to that concept of the other that we are always hearing in societies. No, this other, for example, even can be the artist herself or himself, because as we in social studies or in psychological studies also, we have this mirror stage when the child at first time that he or she will take a look at the mirror, she will see someone else which is other for that person. And this is exactly what is happening later. We label other people just because they are different with us. And most of the time, this differentiation comes from the differentiations in the body, in our body and our body aspects. So I try to find this relationship between self, the other, and the body in work of 5 artists in this exhibition. I put this artist in order. I will tell you why this is this order. It is because we start with Elsa, because Elsa in her work, she's working with her family, which is the most closest community with you. She see herself in her family, and she tried to make this conversation between self and the other in her work. Of course, it's my interpretation of her work. And in some occasions, you see that this role will be changed. And she look at her parents. She photographed her parents, her brother. And in her work, you see that Elsa sometimes change this role, and sometimes we feel that she plays a parent role, because she is giving the pose to the subject of her photographs, who are her parents or her brother or relatives. And he started this project by some archival image which comes from her grandparent. So it's like he tried to dig these roots to her family. And she always tried to make this connection between this self and the other in her work. And in her photographs, we see that this body always play a role in way of finding connections and disconnections. And after Elsa, we'll see the work of Yushi, that in her series, 2 series actually, that she worked for this exhibition. We will see that Yushi is searching this concept in her relationship, more private relationship with like some male partners, or not necessarily partners, like those people, men that accepted to be part of her series, but still she will put those male in a way that she will look at them as the others, but this time she's trying to change something that we always see, for example, the gaze of the male on female. And in her work, she will try to change this role, to change this gaze. And this time it is the artist who is taking a look at the male as a subject of desire and as a subject of gaze. In both series that she made, we can follow this approach, but series are different. One is some video works that she will maybe later you can see on the website, of course. And the other series, she also tried to find this by inspiring of some paintings in art history, that how we always see this situation that female body is the subject of the male gaze, and this time is different. A male body is the subject of the female gaze. In work of the Joshua, we will see he will try to find a very freely fluid relationship between himself and his subject and his people who are appearing in his works. And what was interesting for me in work of Joshua was how this time body is playing a role of like a language, that like this body is we can talk with others through the bodies, and it's very freely, very fluid, and that's why he also has this title of his series, which is a stress-free point of view. This is the way that he observed his surrounding people, his surrounding atmosphere. And body is working as a language to make this relationship between him and the other people. In work of Yuxin, Yushi Jiang, we will see that she is more focused on that concept that we know about the concept of other as she's focused on this concept of Chineseness and how through the social media the Western gaze are looking at the Eastern subject, and how this other this time is not necessarily from a close community like family, friends, or like relatives. In her work, we will see that this is about the community, a bigger community, like a society, how West take a look at the East, and how this gaze that through the history, we always see that this concept of other comes from the way that West is looking at this. And what was interesting for me in her work is the way that he play with it. It's with a sense of humor, which is really interesting, that how you can just play, and it's like a game for her, that how she will play with this concept of otherness through the social media, and how sorry, I don't explain about the work by details because I think that the artist herself will talk more. So I just want to give you the whole idea that why I invited this artist to this exhibition, and why these are making like the concept that I'm following in the exhibition. And at the end, we have Anka, that in her work, we go a bit further. It is about the other situation, which is not necessarily on Earth. She is interested in a space and how a human body will change in this space, in the situation of non-gravity, when there is no gravity. So what would happen for our body when the situation is not the same at all? And maybe it is the way that we take a look into our bodies in the future. Maybe it's the future of our bodies. And interestingly, in her work, this time we will see that just by changing a situation, which is like traveling to space, by changing the situation, you become another for yourself, because your body will change immediately after, and not immediately, of course, it's like a scientific thing that I'm a scientific fact that I'm giving you, no, but yeah, after a while your body can be changed if you're in a space because of no gravity. And so as you see, I try to gather some work and some artists that can give us this sense of relationship between self and the other, and the body, the role of the body in between. And I started with the family as the first community that human beings started their life in there. And then like when we go further to the space. So I try to find the circle just by searching this concept. Maybe later I can add something more, but now I would like the artists to talk about their work and maybe show you some samples of their work. Thank you.
And just before we give the voice to the artists, I know it's not the time for questions.
Yeah, sure.
We'll have it at the end of our conversation.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you one question, which I think is quite important. The works were created before the pandemic happened, before the world stopped. But does your thinking about the exhibition and also the concept and this relation between us and other and the body changed because of what happened in the world, and did it influence how you thought about the exhibition, like planning?
Yeah, I can specifically I can say, for example, in relation to the work of Yuxin, which is about this concept of Chineseness and how the Western how the West look at the East. And we saw in during the pandemic that this violence against Asian people, or specifically against Chinese people, that happen is exactly, it reminds me of the situation that the world is like many of people just look at these people as the others, and it doesn't matter. This is like a global problem. They just want to judge these people just because of this differentiation that they find, and they can easily recognize that, oh, this is like Asian, this is Chinese, and this problem comes from there. And it was really problematic, and it was really annoying. And yeah, exactly. I was at that time, I remember that I even had a conversation with Yushi, the other artist, but and also in relation to the like a situation that like a virus can make for you and can affect on your body, and then after a while you will see that this even that idea of othering and otherness can be disappeared, because you're facing with something very simple that can destroy all the world easily. So it's like for myself was a kind of solution to think about it, to just forget about it, because this is like this is just like us as a human being, that we are making this differentiation. There is no difference. There is no difference indeed. So yeah, maybe it just make me think about this concept of othering and otherness more after facing, and of course after this movement of Black Lives Matters also. I was thinking the same, that this all happened just because some group of people are considering the other group of people as the other. And all the problem starts at that point, that how we can make this differences, and how we can we allowed ourselves to just label the other people just because of the different like the simple things, which is like a color scheme.
So thank you for this. And Elsa, can you share with us a little bit how you started to work on the series, and yeah, and tell us a little bit more.
Yes. Hello, my name is Elsa, and I'm an artist from Sweden. And my work in this exhibition is called I Look at This Tree and Think of Myself. And like Zohreh said, it's about family. And it started when I found this contact sheet in my parents' house of my mother and father when they were pregnant with me. And my father wanted to take pictures of this, and so he did. And I saw these photos, and I could really see the dynamics between my parents and what happens between them in front of the camera. And then I started to get interested by looking at family photos and try to understand like who they are and how I see them, and do I truly know them. And so that was the starting point. And then I also did some portraits of my family members, and I tried to create a narrative where they weren't my parents or brothers and sisters. So I wanted to create something that is family but still not, and try to understand how we act in front of the camera, and also what the relationship between the viewer and the person being photographed is making to the story of the photo in some way. And yeah, and I also have some images of objects that represents my family members, because some of them doesn't want to be in my pictures. And also it's like some objects are closer to the personality than the image in some way. Yeah. And I've also been thinking a lot about belonging in this project, because we have our fathers, mothers, and everyone, but we don't choose them. We just have them and try to learn to live with them or without them. But it's somehow a forced belonging. Yeah, I think that's what I have to say about my work.
Since we were working from the Zohreh and the artists were working from the beginning on the exhibition that was supposed to happen at the festival, and we already like knew the venue, and Zohreh and the artists were thinking about the space and how the exhibition will look. I think it's also an important question, and I would like to ask maybe if you can just relate to it with one or two words, how your approach changed when you were supposed to show your work digitally, and yeah, how maybe it changed the way you were thinking about how to present it, and what form it can have, because it's not that exactly, I mean, the online exhibition that you can see, it's not exactly one-to-one what you would see on the exhibition at the festival. So can you relate to this?
Yes, I was thinking with the movie of my parents that it would be nice to have like a fabric and a feeling of, because there's a fabric in the image behind them. So I wanted to create the scene again in the room. So that was something that I wanted to do if we had been in Poland. But instead I took a sheet from home, and I went down to my laundry room, or how to say, and then I tried to project there. So I did manage to do it like I wanted, but in another format. But I think I got, yeah, the same feeling with the fabric, and yeah.
Okay.
Can I add something? Maybe it's interesting to know that this video now is on the website, as we saw it on the website, that this is exactly what Elsa wanted to have in the exhibition. And then we realized that we cannot have the physical exhibition. She installed the same installation in her studio, and she filmed it. So it's like a video of a video. And now we have that on the website. And what you see is not the video itself, but it's like the video installation that Elsa made in her studio, which is really interesting.
Okay, so now, Yushi, can you tell us about your two projects?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Yushi. I am a Chinese artist working in London at the moment. And I'm very happy to be a part of this exhibition. And so in this exhibition, there are two projects which you can see on the website, and I'm going to talk about them like in the order on the website. So in the first project, it's a series of videos of different male strangers I found on the internet, like performing some mundane activities such as cutting a fish, folding clothes for me to watch via Skype. And these men are like the ones who contacted me like by emails or online messages saying that they want to be shown in my work. And I think it's quite interesting that their desire to be looked at somehow opens up this complicated relationship between the looker and the looked at. So in these videos, there are no narratives, no plots, but only simple and repetitive gestures and movements. For example, in the first video, the one, there's a man cutting a salmon. We see this naked man like slices pieces of fish one by one. And so the equation between his naked flesh and the pink flesh of the salmon, the rhythm of the cutting gesture suggests an unusual erotic scene. In this scene, his gentle and careful movement attracts our gaze to his hands, the knife and the fish on the cutting board. In other words, we somehow look past his naked body to look at what he's doing with his hands. And I chose these activities that are close to the flesh to stage this relationship between the body and the object, which is sensual, attentive, and more complicated than a one-way subject-object relationship. And by portraying these moments of some strangers' lives in an unspectacular way, I try to create an almost temporary maternal space in which we look at them with sort of response to the care they themselves take in the tasks they perform. And there are always some gentleness, slowness in these scenes I create, in which we see not only these men's bodies, but also their actions and movements. In other words, like we see beyond their look rather than simply objectifying and reducing them to an image. And in the photographic work in this project, I look at certain classical paintings to try to reflect on those representations of the female body and the staging of desire and eroticism in art history to make my own portrayal of the desire body. And in these photographs, animals and fantastic settings are used to imply like the unconscious dimension of these scenes, and more importantly, by acting as an active rather than passive role in my work, like both as the photographer and also sometimes as one of the things inside the photograph. I try to intervene within the existing representations of the body to question this dichotomy of active man and passive woman that has been broadly embedded in the field of vision. So I think through both looking back at old paintings and looking directly via the webcam, I try to use my way of image making to examine the staging of eroticism and deconstruct the power structure inherent in the gendered gaze. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Josh?
Hello.
Oh, can you tell us about your work?
So I'm Josh, and my project is called A Stress-Free Point of View. And I started it after thinking for a long time about images and image histories and like how living your life surrounded by images make you imagine about your life. And that is something that happens and gave me a lot of anxiety. So I started exploring it more. And so mainly starting from this place of how we like, and especially in our time of new technologies and more links, and especially now that we like interact with most of the world, at least still in America, through screens, images are like always telling us how to imagine about the world because they carry with them certain non-neutral like claims or assertions that aren't really like talked about a lot and are kind of like subversive in how normal we think it is for all images to be neutral in their communication, when really they all have this kind of like bite or claim or push and pull one way that their content is supposed to be viewed. So thinking about images and their claims, these claims can have lots of different purposes, like claims to solidify state power, like thinking about ancient sculpture that really had that purpose. And in the frame of this exhibition is a lot about how a vision of a body in a certain way had an implicit meaning for people of how they were supposed to feel about themselves, about the world in relation to the imagining that that vision of that body is making them complicit in. So something like Bronze Augustus on his horse with his arms stretched out, or other Eastern examples extending on to like royal portraiture, religious iconography, and even now to like fashion imagery, covers of magazines, advertisements. There's these like lineages and histories of how images have like certain functions in and of themselves to like make you imagine along with them in a certain way. And there's like a million ways it can happen. It's very subtle, but it does happen. And there are certain like preferences and hierarchies among those lineages, you know, like certain things are left out, certain things are seen a lot, but it's never really equal and open to everyone. So for me, that was always very stressful, thinking about myself, my life, other people around me, how I imagine about all of that, and then constantly matching that up with all of the images I see around me that push and pull in different directions or don't seem to coalesce with how I imagine about things. So I'm really interested in the consequences of images' claims, how they make us feel, and certain claims having more preference than others. I'm really interested in how these claims can become opaque and mysterious, untraceable, and increasingly infectious. I'm really interested in the consequences of having to construct your conception of your life in tandem with all these imaginings constantly competing and coming at you from all directions. So for this project, I really went back and wanted to reflect on these links between these types of claims in anachronistic images, like in contemporary or ancient imaginings, in different various like types and tropes, or like even just categories of images, like how something very advertorial or strict advertising can feel essentially like an ancient painting, or like an art photograph that's meant to be about like identity, even though that's usually kind of dubious. And just kind of like build a world where these imaginings are not so strictly correlated to hierarchies and are way more like internally complex in their logic. So that there's this experience of like being able to see the operation of it, or like, you know, the forest through the trees, that kind of vibe. So yeah, I really wanted to create a more of like a vision of how this operation of images makes us feel and has an influence in our lives in a way that kind of like frees it from such like material connection to consequences. So in that, my focus is always on opening up possibility instead of like revising and revealing like the power of these claims in a more neutral way so that anyone can imagine about them or occupy their imaginings or see how certain imaginings have infected their conception of the world. So that's why for me, it's a stress-free point of view, because it's like shedding all of the consequences of that system and really like opening it up for yourself, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Josh.
And we have the fourth of five artists that are on the exhibition, and it's Yuxin with us. Yuxin, can you tell us briefly about your works? You have also you have one project, but like in two chapters in a way. Yes.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, I'm Yuxin. I'm from Shanghai and has been based in London for the past few years. And what I'm showing in this exhibition, Some Bodies, is a kind of a bigger project called Instagram project. And I'm showing two work from this project. Before I go on to explain the work, actually, I would like to share my own screen, if that's possible. There is a little research I would like to share with you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So in the very, very early on stage of making this body of work, I came across this book called Chinese Characteristics. And it's written by an American missionary who spent quite a long time in China in the late 19th century. And the book was first published around that time in Shanghai, was published in an English language newspaper, which means at the time it was the foreigners who lived in China was reading this book and kind of the articles in the book. And I stumbled across this paragraph, which I was really struck by it. I would like to read it out so that it's very short, but I think it's quite important. It writes, in the item of sleep, the Chinese established the same difference between himself and the Occidental as in the directions already specified. Generally speaking, he is able to sleep anywhere. None of the trifling disturbance which drive us to despair annoy him. With a brick for a pillow, he can lie down on his bed of stalks or mud bricks or rattans and sleep the sleep of the just, with no reference to the rest of creation. He does not want his room darkened, nor does he require others to be still. The infant crying in the night may continue to cry for all he cares, for it does not disturb him. In some regions, the entire population seem to fall asleep, as by common instinct, like that of the hibernating bear, during the first 2 hours of summer afternoons. And they do this with regularity, no matter where they may be. At 2 hours afternoon, the universe at such seasons is as still as 2 hours after midnight. In the case of most working people, at least, and also in that of many others, position in sleep is of no sort of consequence. It would be easy to raise in China an army of 1 million men, nay, of 10 millions, tested by competitive examination as to their capacity to go to sleep across 3 wheelbarrows with head downwards like a spider, their mouth wide open and a fly inside. So that was written, in the late 19th century. A kind of missionary traveler spent time in China trying to describe, or his way of understanding what he saw at the time. And in the meantime, I was looking at a lot of Instagram photos taken in China about Chinese people and Chinese society that, a lot of them seems to be taking picture of the same thing. So what really interested me initially was like, right, it does happen. And I'm interested, I was struck that, 200 years ago, we were sleeping, or there were people kind of sleeping like that in public. And now there are still people doing that. But then I realized what really was interesting is not how people behaved and is behaving now in China. It is through these centuries how foreigners read, or the approach they take to understand what they see hasn't changed at all. And I think that is something I really wanted to provoke, to discuss and challenge in my work, the Instagram project. I'm gonna stop my screen sharing. And so in this project, let me see if I can, would someone share the website, or I can carry on to that?
Yeah, I think Rebecca or Nono were sharing.
Yeah. Great, thank you, Rebecca. So this project, essentially, I'm not taking any photos. I'm working with the images and video clips from Instagram. And there were thousands of them. And I went through them again. And I came to put them into sort of different categories in a way that there are certain ways people it catch the photographer's attention, and how they post it, and what people kind of find it's funny or weird about it. So this series work is called Provocative Jokes Deconstructed. What you are seeing here is a slideshow of kind of really normal people portraiture snapshot. Was not really apparent anything to see, but really what originally was happening was, you can also see those kind of like small text or a caption like thing floating around, and those English kind of icon, they were actually on these people's clothes. And what I'm find problematic is that, yes, a t-shirt with those provoking written word is, it worth taking a snapshot, but really the photos were taken in a way the whole face, the whole body of that person were part of this funny thing, or part of this joke. And that's the thing I'm trying to deal with here, which, to take those words away from these bodies and to set them free in a way to restore their dignity, and to leave the viewer to see those different components, which they were part of the same joke, one joke together, but now they were taken apart. And originally for the physical space show, I was really wanting to have these portraited as real life size theater backdrop, where all these other words and captions would be scattered around in the gallery space. But again, I think this online presentation is quite interesting way to experiment to see how can you, adapt the work to a different format. The second work I'm showing here is called Quirky Science Questions. What that is about is I'm using a set of photographs from the Instagram, but to repurpose them. They're no longer kind of used as part of toilet flicking through the phone, have a fun time thing, but they become the illustration images for kind of school exams or school exam type of questions. So here I'm trying to liberate these images away from their original purpose and intention, and to give it a practical value, and in hope that people would then look at these images in a very different way. Through this whole project, really, I wanted to really challenge how can I work beyond visual representation? How can I challenge certain way of understanding identity issues, or challenge how other identity are being othered, not through creating visual images that kind of does the work on the visual plane, but really have the work sort of have its own function, doing something different, somehow have its own sort of life. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say, really. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Yushi.
Thank you. And since Anka couldn't join us today, Zohreh, can you tell a little bit more about her project, maybe, and we can also...
Yeah, maybe if
Sure.
if we can share the website, or do we have it?
A moment, it's coming.
Yeah, as I've told you about Anka's project, first of all, it is part of a bigger project which called Beyond. This chapter, Body, is which is part of our exhibition, is just part of that whole project. In this work, in this body of work, Anka is very interested. In general, she is interested in the situation of the human in the space, and specifically in this chapter of body, she emphasized on the situation that our body would have in the space, in a situation that there is no gravity. And she was collaborating and had conversations with some scientists, and as she explained in her project, it seems that in the future there is no such a bright situation for our body. If we are thinking about traveling to Mars, if we are thinking about traveling to space, we have to think about also the situation that our body would have there, because 60% of our body is made by fluid, and then in the space, because of no gravity situation, it affects on our body, and you will have some changes. I mean, not us, but like those who are traveling to the space, they will facing with some changes in their body after a while. For example, one astronaut that traveled to the space, after a while, after he came back from the space, there were like here you will see in this image that because of the pressure that he was facing in the space, and this is just the simplest thing that might happen for the body of those who are traveling to the space. This is just part of the series. She also used some archival material that I think she took them from the NASA website, and she's following them, and she's using their archival material as well as she's making also some object for our series. Maybe we can play the video also. And it has a sound, if you can also, yeah, there's, yeah, you can. Oh, the sound doesn't work. But you can watch the video later on the website. The sound that she used in this work is the sound in Mars. And yeah, that's it. It's about the situation of no gravity and how our body deal with this situation. And we will have some changes after a while. And as I told you, the reason that I have Anka in this exhibition is because I think this is something that we should think about the future, like our future of our bodies, and how then we will find ourselves as the other after having these changes in our bodies. So for me, it was really interesting to think about our future bodies as well. So yeah, and unfortunately we don't have Anka here today, but you can see also her work in the catalog. There we will have some more image from all the artists. And this is something that maybe I can add now, because this exhibition, since we are not having the physical exhibitions anymore, we were thinking about using these possibilities of having a website and having a catalog for the exhibition. So I was thinking, I mean, I consider these two in connection to each other. So please make sure, if you're visiting the website, make sure that you also see the catalog, because we don't have all the works in the website. We have some different work on the website. For example, as we mentioned before, Yushi and Elsa had like different way of presenting their work in the website, but we don't have all the work there. So please make sure that you also see the catalog. And now we are seeing the catalog together, of course.
Yes, and we encourage you, everybody, to explore the website, see the works, and there's also curatorial text of Zohreh, and also additional text that was commissioned for the catalog. And it's really nice to read, to have a better, to see the bigger context of the work of the artists. And now we will ask Bartek, who's the designer of the catalog, and we spent with Bartek some time working on it, because it's not only a book, it's a kind of a object which Bartek will explain a little bit more in a moment. And yes, and we also thought from the beginning that the catalog will be this important physical thing that that will connect us with the works of the artists, and that will work together with the online exhibition. And soon you can please check our Fotofestiwal website and our Facebook. You can soon order the catalogs. We'll have some small amount catalogs to send and to sell. So Bartek, are you there?
Yes. Thank you, Franek. It's nice to see you, all of the artists and participants. To be honest, I'm not exactly a designer. I work with photography. I work with object, and the book it's like some kind of distributing photography, into something material. So when Franek called me on the middle of epidemic time, and he said that we will start a photo festival and we will work on the catalog, I thought that it's really hard to it will be really hard to do it, but I hope we did it well. We spoke of those days about form, about that catalog should be like kind of exhibition, like some kind of material, something that you can take from like you know, something for touch. And maybe let's see it together, and I will try say more words about what we have inside and maybe why. But if Franek or Zohreh, you want to join me, just do it. So we start of course of title and some kind of raw but still gentle and elegant structure. It's maybe some kind of the notebook or something that it's not hardcover, but still it's nice to touch. We were looking of the color, what color should be for some bodies, and we decided to use a gold color and the gray to mix them together. And what we found at the beginning, it's a really beautiful fragment of picture of Josh, of fingers that touch something. So it's introduced us to this idea to have something to keep, to have something to not only to see, but make some relation to the object. Here it's title page with the names. And the first picture that Zohreh chose, like the beginning of her idea, it's Elsa picture. And then we have a text. Zohreh text and Graham and I'm sorry, Zagar, if I spell it good. Essay. And another title text that it's introduced us to the pictures. It's some kind of relation to the cover. And here is the beginning. And to bring to life this idea of exhibition, it's idea of making some kind of the pocket, something that you can put the hand inside and be like, you know, in the room or in the space of each artist. So every artist have a pocket, like, you know, every artist have a body, for example, yes? But inside it's something special, it's something original. So I think it's some kind of reference to what Zohreh wants to have, I hope. And what we found, what we can find inside in Elsa. In Elsa, we have a poster, like name and the title. And the other side, we have this beautiful tree. Of course, this poster, it's collaborated, it's work with the title inside the book and bio, which is cover, and then we have the pictures. And when Elsa speak about family, about her project, I just thought that it's this what we have here, like cover the title, like stick picture. Sometimes we want it, sometimes we don't want it, but we have it, like a family here. This is something special that we have here. And another page is this contact sheet that was the beginning of her project that she said. And here is a picture of the parents and some small drawing that I really like. Another page is about the projects, about the picture from the projects.
So the idea was also that the book is something that you can also explore, that not everything is like visible, that you sometimes need to get more insights, and you have to you have to act with the object that is the book to find additional layers.
Yes, thank you, Franek. So we end with Elsa with this nice picture with that, and we have another pocket and another artist that can cover the previous page, but still they are connected, like, you know, together, like in community, like in the same exhibition. And initially we decide to put not a poster, but to make some kind of a fine art print. Like this is a small picture, so it can reference to painting, like Zohreh told me. In on the other side we have this is some kind of safe paper, and the title, and also the same situation with this transparent paper. And first project from two. And the second, I hope my light is enough.
Yeah, it's clear.
And we decide to use some kind of idea of contact sheets. It was in previous, it was in Elsa. Here we take this picture from video that you saw before, and we decide to make this some kind of video contact sheet to show this.
But there are your heat vents right there, and
Sorry?
It was some kind of delay of my voice.
No, just go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Everything okay. So
just to add that on the website you can find the link to the catalog on issue, and you can also see it for yourself, and before you can get it in your hands on the next occasion.
Yes. So in Joshua and Josh, we come back to the poster that it's designed by him. I can say, because it's his order and just design, just page that he sent me, that I really appreciate. I really like it. I'm glad that website have good references to this book. I'm really happy. So it's first time today in this presentation, so it's good to see that way. And in Josh we have a statement and his picture. And what is important, and I forgot to say, that we have 3 type of paper, but from one family paper. It's like it's Panta paper, if it's important. And what is important, it's local, because it's from Łódź. And I know this paper, we really know this one, that's called Soramat Arte. But we also use a nature made paper that is on Elsa project, and also more yellowish for the text and for Yushi, that you will see in a few minutes.
I think it's interesting thing to add that although the catalog and the exhibition is like the cooperation of people from different places in the world, the catalog was kind of made with local resources, because we also work with local bookbinder who makes every copy manually. Because of this, not so easy to adjust everything and bind it. So we use local forces and local materials. We print everything locally, but this incredible thing that happens in the world when people work like globally, but then like some things happen just locally, you know, like physical things.
Yes, that's true. Thanks for that, Franek. And here we have a relation to Yuxin and Josh. And inside we have another poster, but printed in different technology. It's risograph print, and have the same order, like name, title, and short description. And other side, you will see this beautiful blue ink Riso print on blue paper with text that it was printed separately. So, you know, we can imagine how lots of work have our bookbinder to stick everything together and do it properly. And inside this project, we have also some kind of extra thing, description, statements. And also inside, we decided to use a one page also printed in risograph. So it was printed in the same machine like a poster, and put it inside this booklet, like separately, you know. So we have we decided to change the paper for more bright, and we go to next chapter. Let's say that when you have this project with some kind of stickers that we can take off and put wherever you want to make your, I don't know, your comments and play with that. So it looks like that. And at the end, we have Anka with poster. Poster is printed on the same paper like we choose for Elsa, natural color, and we decide to use this picture of the face of the mask. So I like to play with this book. I think it's really nice that you can take it, you can, you know, put inside, or, you know, put on your wall if you like it. So I hope this distribute this idea of exhibition. And for Anka, we have inside the same paper like for Josh. It's more glossy, but still gentle. She has some kind of description or captation here. And also at the end, this description of the image with pages. And the book starts with this beautiful body, like a corpse, maybe like this, and we end with some kind of close-up. It's coming from Anka project, and it's this picture of the Mars, but really focused. It still looks like some kind of surface, some kind of I don't know. And inside it's the big poster with all of the text of Fotofestiwal, parallel participants, of course, logos, and all of who help and work here.
And QR website.
Yes, and it's like a colophon. So it's work like it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. presentation. As I told before, soon we'll announce on our website that you can order the catalogs, but we encourage you also to visit now the website of the project, see it online, and if you'd be interested in physical copy, we'll announce it and you can write to us to order one. So if there are any questions, we are happy to hear them. And and we'll hopefully we'd like to respond to them if anybody has any question. Look, I think not. So I would like to thank you all for being with us and for listening to this presentation. I hope you will explore the website and see the catalog on your wall, on your own, and also read the texts, which are really important to understand the exhibition, the concept, and to get you introduced more to the works. Hopefully we'll have an occasion to also show the exhibition in a physical form, and we'll of course invite you to join us and to see it. But I think the online version and the artists and Zohreh and the Curator team did very well to transmit the works in this form, and find also some solutions to show the works as they would be presented in the physical exhibition. And I would like to thank everybody and the artists and Zohreh for their effort, and also Bartek for being with us and designing the catalog, and of course Curator for being here and organizing everything. And thank you very much. Zohreh, would you like to add something at the end?
Can I make some questions? Sorry. I think it's really, well, we are starting to do these online presentations and all these things. And I think the result of today is really amazing, especially all the works of the artists, and all these having people from Zohreh, it's in Iran, Josh, it's in the United States. So all these things, having everybody together and virtually in Poland. So it's something that is really amazing. And it was really a big effort also to us to do this together, because well, the online we don't know how to manage, is not our core. Our core is to make physical activities, and it's and we try and we fight a lot to discover together these, and together with Zohreh, with the creators and all this. And so it's really, we are really proud, and it's really good to see. Of course, you have the catalog, that it's something physical, that it's really beyond. So we still have the physical things are, to me personally, are the ones that make the difference. And we have to try to discover in the future, in the next future, how we mix the physical presence and basically how to mix the online and the offline, because without being all together, without being in all of us in Dublin with this, it was this amazing moment. That was the last moment where we are all together. Of course, I don't know if we're gonna have this exhibition, and so we have to play in both all together, because it's not it's a network project, and but it's something, it's a big challenge how to keep the the physical and to see and to touch the people, and also replace and add the online, because also the online brings some things that are good. But it's I think the next challenge is how to learn how to play in both worlds. But from what we saw today, I think we are in the good way. Have to be optimistic, and together, we achieved to have it here. Rebecca.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so just to finish, I don't want to be very long, but just to remember you that Somebody's exhibition is part of the Parallel Online. So we had to convert all the third cycle exhibitions into online exhibitions, and we are launching them every Thursday between August and September. With a live event. So this one was the only one that was not, the event was not in the same day as the exhibition was launched, because it was the day when the photo festival starts, so we could not be in the physical festival and online at the same time. But so this Thursday we will have another one, and Notes on Space together with Odessa Photo Days in Ukraine. And of course, we want you to join us if you can. All the links are in our pages, so you just, you can access it and you will find the information easily. And we will be very glad to have you with us. So that's it. Nuno is asking Zohreh if you want to finish, to close. We can't hear you, Zohreh. You don't have any sound. It's still not working. No, we can't hear you. It's a sign we have to finish, but.
Now, yeah, say something. No, unfortunately, we lost your voice. Okay, but.
But thank you, Zohreh. Thank you, Zohreh. Thank you to all the artists for sharing, and to the designer as well of the catalog, and Franek as well for sharing all your work, the work you have done, for sharing it with us and with the online community today.
Thank you very much. And see you hopefully soon somewhere in the world or online.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for all. Bye. Bye.